The final frontier.
Yes.
These are the stupid people going on a journey to find new life, new civilizations.
New life. Welcome to the Dynamics Podcast. I'm Julian, and I'm here with Jackson.
Hello?
He's a pretty cool guy.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm pretty hot. Actually, I'm sweating, kind of burning up. My balls are itching.
Okay. Uh, My mole's reaching. Um, I would have had Clayton to come on here, but he got busy with his job. But yeah.
We're talking about space today. I think we're going to start it off with the idea of black holes.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about your average American female. I'm talking about, the space thing. You know, the warping of time space when you get near a black hole. Now, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, I can't say that word.
Yeah.
When you get closer to a black hole, time supposedly slows down for you, I guess, and speeds up for everyone else. So let's say there was a black hole on the moon, right? You could go to the moon and then come back, and then like everyone around you would be grown. It would be like you left in 1980 and you got back and it was like 2010, and you get to learn what housing crises are.
Yeah, that's true. That would be realistic.
That'd be one way to time travel if you really wanted to. Like, if you had the means and a spaceship and you just wanted to see what the future was, you wouldn't be able to go back,
Yeah.
but you could go forward by doing that. I remember watching Interstellar and seeing that happen to that one the black scientist. I can't remember what his name was, but he was just on the ship and they watched everybody go down, and then their ship crashed into the water, and they had issues getting it to start back up again. It ended up taking them longer than it should have, and he ended up being in the ship alone for like 13 years or something like that. And it was only supposed to be like 2 years or something.
I've heard of Interstellar. Is that like a movie?
Oh yeah, it's like one of the best movies of all time. It's got Matthew McConaughey in it. You know, that guy with the really like the magical voice. He does the Lincoln commercials. He's like, I didn't always drive a Lincoln, but I did it because I want to.
That sounds like uh what's his name? Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. My dad used to talk about him when what's that movie called he was in? It's not Fast and Furious. It's the one that's like 50 seconds to 30 seconds. I don't know what is it. Ah, there's a movie and it's got a Shelby GT 500. He drives on it and he's like running away from the feds or whatever.
Oh,
And I forget, but yeah, it's a cool movie. Zero to 60 or something like that.
yeah.
Forget exactly what it is, but it was a cool movie. I enjoyed it.
No.
So, on the topic of space, have you ever seen the movie Alien?
Uh, no,
You
no,
have not seen the movie Alien.
no.
That's a sin. Okay, you need to repent on that. You need to watch that.
But
Okay.
I'm not big on horror movies. If it's gonna be like,
It's kind of a horror movie, but it's also like a scientific. It's like sci-fi horror,
yeah,
but it's cool, like because like it's almost possible. So I'll explain like the theme of it, of how it starts. So they have this stuff. It's called like the black goo or whatever, and it's like basically the raw mutator that mutates things into the alien. And so what happened is that this black goo infected a human being and turned them into a pseudo alien. It wasn't a complete alien, it was a pseudo alien. And so basically it took a human form and modified it to be the xenomorph or proto xenomorph form.
yeah.
And then from that proto xenomorph became the queen and then laid eggs, which became the face huggers. And then once those face huggers attach to other human hosts, that's how you get a real xenomorph, like the classical xenomorph. And from there, the process just continues. and they're like a hive mind. They're like bees. Like they have a queen, and they're like smart, and like they'll try to protect their young and shit. And they know what like a threat is. They're really intelligent, and they will hunt you down. Oh, it's scary and fun at the same time. I used to play a game called Alien Isolation. That was so fun. It was scary too.
Yeah.
You just have a you wouldn't have any weapons at the beginning, but then you would get a flamethrower, and you would think that the flamethrower would be enough to kill. No, no, no. You go. Yeah, go ahead, try. Yeah, it'll run away for a little bit, but then when you run out of fuel, yeah, it's gonna come and eat you.
Yeah. The only horror movies that I would like to watch would just be like psychological horror movies.
You like the serial killer, like the what is that? It's like where he like tests people. What's
Saw.
yeah,
Um, I don't know, maybe. I'm talking about like ghost movies.
ghost movies?
Yeah, the type of ones where the perspectives are like in the security cameras.
You like found footage?
Yeah,
Yeah, you like the found footage stuff, like the Blair Witch shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I should
I can
probably
I can
watch
get that. I get that.
it. Have you ever heard of the Mandela Catalog?
I feel like I have, but I don't know of it.
It's like a analog horror series.
Analog horror. Isn't that like where like it's like really minimalistic?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like the back rooms
Yeah,
is analog horror.
yeah,
Yeah. I like the back rooms. That's a cool concept.
yeah.
And like you can use that in a lot of different ways. See, okay, yeah, this is what I want to talk about. SCP. Do you know anything about SCP?
Yeah, I've watched the Markiplier play it.
Okay. So I really like the idea of SCP. Not only because there's already stuff out there, but because you actually create something. Like I made my own SCP one time, and I called it I forget the number it was, but it was like SCP 187 or something like that, or 173. I forget which one it was, and it was called. I named it the Crimson Tree. And so what it is that it's a living organism,
Hmm.
but it's made out of. You ever watch the movie Terminator #3 with the liquid metal?
No, but I've seen one of them.
Okay, so imagine a robot that can shapeshift, and it's a liquid metal,
Yeah.
and it's intelligent. All right, so but this metal is not really liquid. It kind of functions like a liquid, like it can move around and shape around, but it's more rigid than a liquid. It's more elastic, okay?
Oh,
So think of like an elastic living metal, and it looks exactly like a maple tree, okay? And it functions kind of like a tree, where it's got metal that goes under the ground to keep it secured into the ground, and then it has metal that comes up out like this,
yeah.
like in a trees, like in like leaves and limbs and stuff, and it's not exactly uh symmetrical. It's not exactly symmetrical. It's just limbs and whatever, like kind of like a natural tree would look, but it's made out of metal
Okay.
and it's elastic. Now this tree, this SCP tree, the Crimson Tree, is cannibal. Well, not cannibalistic. It's carnivorous, and so it means it eats animals, it eats bloods, humans, anything it can really get its hands on. And the way it feeds is it grows a fruit on the metal limb or whatever. And this fruit has a smell that will attract things to it that want to eat the fruit. And when anything gets close enough, one of the limbs will snap down and impale the target, lifting it up into the air where the other limbs will impale it and then literally rip it limb from limb and then absorb the blood from the target and grow leaves, red leaves out of. So what it does is it will take the the hemoglobin in the blood
Yeah.
and will form leaves out of it. And then it will take the iron from the blood and absorb it into its system, into the actual tree itself. So the leaves are formed by the hemoglobin. And what happens is it will form these leaves made out of red hemoglobin that look like a maple leaf, but they're sharp as shit. And so once a tree is able to kill a couple of victims and they start growing leaves, they can then fling those sharp leaves at things outside of its range. So it's very dangerous,
Yeah.
and it can communicate with other instances of SCP, the Crimson Tree. It's very interesting concept that I decided to make. It's like it's basically like a carnivorous tree. It's terrifying. It's like
Yeah.
imagine if you were walking through the forest and all of a sudden, whack, and you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, I like horror like that. Like coming up with horror is really fun in my opinion. Like trying to make like you're trying to. It's like how can I play on the fear You know, how can I play on people's fear to kind of to give them that reaction? You know, and I was thinking about like if I were to able to put this into a game, imagine being able to play as one of these kind of trees. Like you have to position yourself in a certain area and kind of try to hide with other real trees, and then something walks by, and just like bam, and
Yeah.
you got them.
Is it like a
Ambush predator for sure.
is it like a robot or just like a pile of liquid metal?
It's not liquid, like I said. It's more like a elastic metal. It can move around, but it,
Yeah.
it doesn't move like a liquid. It moves like a elastic metal, and it is intelligent. It's very intelligent. It doesn't necessarily speak in the way that you and I would, but it can kind of communicate thoughts via the root system because the roots can connect to other trees,
Yeah.
and that way they can share information and whatnot, like real trees do in real life. You know that, right? Real trees can like communicate through their roots.
Yeah, through like vibrations.
Yeah, like if there's like this one tree, I forget where it's at in the US, but it's like a maple tree. But there's like 6 or 8 thousand maple trees, but it all comes from the same tree.
Mm.
And like they'll all change at the exact same time because they're all connected. Like when the seasons come, they all change colors exactly at once.
Oh,
And like if there's a tree that's not getting enough sustenance, the other trees will send sustenance through the roots to that tree to help it grow.
oh.
It's all like one giant organism that works. It's kind of like cells, almost like the human body.
Mm.
It's pretty
That's cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
And what's also cool is that even though trees do that on that scale, I believe that human beings also are kind of like that. We're one giant living entity with a little bitty parts that contribute. Like think about it. You clean up and whatnot and keep things clean. I cut meat, give the customer what they want. Somebody else will stock the food. But in all of that, we're all working toward the same goal of like society and a living ecosystem that continues to sustain itself.
Yeah.
And
That's
if one person is struggling, you know you can get help from someone else, and so it's very similar to that.
yeah.
But it's interesting to think that trees have that ability, and they don't even have, well, it's actually not proven that they don't have consciousness. Some people believe that plants do have consciousness. Do I believe that? I don't know. I would say I would say it's possible, but plausible. That's what I would say. I would say it's plausible, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I believe they're alive, but
Oh, yeah, definitely they're alive,
I
but
don't think they're like um sentient.
no, that's where I have like misgivings about, because there's a difference between being sentient and being conscious. So you can be sentient without being conscious. Just put it this way: if I was in a coma, I'm still a sentient being. I can still think and act, but I'm not conscious at that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, uh, because people in a coma can still have thoughts and shit going on in their head, even when they're in a coma, but they're not conscious. So I don't think trees are conscience. I don't think they have consciousness, but I think that they are sentient to a certain extent. Maybe not to the extent of animals and human beings, but I do think they have sentience for sure. I think that they can, because like you got to think like when grass gets cut, they say it releases a pheromone to let other grass know that there's something going on or harming them. So I definitely think that they're intelligent to a certain extent, probably farther than we give them credit for.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think they have like thoughts or something?
I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think it's to that degree. I think that thought happens when you have consciousness.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
as far as being sentient and being able to react to stimulus and whatnot, and having sentience, I think that trees and plants could be sentient for sure.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Um, ba, ba, ba. Let me think of something space related. What do you think would happen if the moon had its own moon?
If the moon had its own moon, well, I can tell you one thing right off the bat: we would no longer be tidally locked.
Right.
So if there was another body up there, it's going to be acting on the rotation of the moon, and it's going to cause it to slowly start spinning, and so we would eventually be able to see the backside of the moon, which is cool and be an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Also, the oceans would be heavily affected. We would
Because the
experience changes in tide, and probably people would go nuts. They would probably think the world was ending, and they would scream bloody murder.
yeah, because of the gravitational.
Yeah. You would also experience slightly less gravity.
Oh
You'd
yeah.
be slightly lighter. Congratulations, you lost a half a pound.
Yeah. Um.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
What do you think happens when a nuke detonates in space when there's no air?
The well, let's see here. Well, the smoke would probably look the same way as a nebula, I guess. The fire. Well, I don't know because that's like a plasma, so not technically a gas. Um, it might have like some sort of gravitational pull of itself, if I have to guess. And maybe create its own little fire asteroid.
Well, that really depends, I think, on whether it's near a body, like a massive body or not. Like if it's near the Earth or something, I think the Earth is just going to pull it right in.
Yeah.
But if it's like, let's say, for instance, that we go out to an area of deserted space and we
Mhm.
explode a nuke, what's going to happen? I think, number one, we know that if it's a fusion bomb, then it's colliding two atoms to make another atom. So like hydrogen and then I think helium. Or actually, I don't know which two it is. I know it's got hydrogen in it. You combine two hydrogen atoms or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exact science of it, but regardless of anything, you're creating something with a fusion bomb, which creates more energy. And then with a fission bomb, you're splitting an atom, which still creates a lot of energy but less energy. And so I think that due to the lack of oxygen in space, there's nothing to burn per se. So I think that the reaction would be very short. I don't think it would last nowhere near as long as an explosion that happens on the ground,
Yeah.
where there's oxygen and other stuff to continue to fuel the fire and whatnot and burn off. So I would think it would be obviously spherical. It would radiate outward at a very high rate of speed, and then it would come back and collapse in on itself
No, yeah.
because of its own gravity at that point. And then once it comes back and collapses in on itself, it'll explode a second time, and it'll continue to do that until there's no more energy left.
Oh,
Kind of like have you ever seen when they shoot bullets underwater, like the
no.
slow mo guys or Smarter Every Day?
No, I haven't.
So there's a couple of YouTube channels that will have videos about shooting bullets underwater, and what happens is that the bullet, when you shoot it, it'll exit the barrel, and the gas expanding from the shockwave of the gunpowder exploding pushes the bullet out of the barrel, and it pushes the water out of the way, and so it creates a cavitation bubble behind the bullet as it travels through the water,
Oh,
and that cavitation bullet is caused by the pressure of the gas. Well, when that pressure runs out, the cavitation then comes back in at a high rate of speed and slams into itself, creating another explosion, and it booms out again. And then you'll see a flash of light as soon as it comes in, boom, and it'll explode out again, another cavitation, and it'll keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller until all the energy is dissipated.
wow.
And they actually have like video documentation of it. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Um, give me a hypothetical.
All right. Let's say you're walking down the road and your car broke down. All
Mm.
right. And you need to get someone to pick you up.
I'm driving down the road?
No, no, no. You're walking down the road. You were driving down the road. Your car broke down, and now you're walking down the road, and you
Okay.
need someone to pick you up. What's going to be your go-to way to get someone to pick you up and not have them think you're like a hobo trying to kill them?
Do I have my phone on me?
No, you can't call for help. This is like you have to get someone off the road to help you.
I would just hitchhike.
Okay. So you would just what? You're gonna stick your thumb up?
Yeah,
You're just gonna stick your thumb up?
just axe. Most likely anybody that comes down to help me with my car, because this is the South.
That is true. Cause I stopped to help someone the other day, and their car wasn't even broke. I was coming home the other day, and this guy pulled out in front of me in a truck, and he had a grill in the back, and it wasn't secure, and the grill fell and hit the road, and pieces went everywhere. And he didn't hit my car or anything, but I stopped and pulled over, and I helped him pick up all the stuff. And after we got the grill loaded up into his truck, he was like, "Did I hit your car or anything?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "What? Why are you?" I was like, "I just wanted to help you, pick it up and whatnot." And he was like, "Oh, well, thank you."
Okay.
And then, yeah, he had introduced himself to me, and I introduced myself to him, and then we went on our ways.
Oh,
So yeah, I definitely think that if you're in the South, it would probably be a whole lot easier to get someone to help you. But imagine if you were in like Chicago or something.
okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard to get someone to stop in Chicago when there's so much gang violence and shootings and like yeah, it'd be difficult for sure.
I would just
I'd jump out in the middle of the road butt naked with a chicken mask on, screaming "Hallelujah, let me go!"
okay. I would probably just walk down a road until I see
I think if someone
civilization.
saw someone outside butt naked with wearing nothing but a chicken mask screaming, they would probably drive over them.
Yeah, they probably think it would be a real chicken,
A
like a mutant chicken.
mutant chicken.
We can become mutants if we eat it.
Okay, so if you're a mutant, which one would you want to be? Like, what powers would you have?
I would be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, but I meant from X-Men.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, if you were a mutant, like, what power would you have?
I would probably have hmm, like judging by how powerful they are.
Whatever you want, brother.
Okay. Um,
Whatever floats your fancy.
I would do Cyclops.
Cyclops. So the eye lasers.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you would never be able to like take your glasses off without murdering someone. They're like, "We're here to do your eye test. Oh, let me get those glasses." No, no, wait, wait,
That's true.
wait. Fucking burn the whole building down.
Put them on! Put them on!
Call us.
Laser their hands off.
Luke, I am your puppet.
I laser the glasses too. No.
Now you're fine. You just have to hold him there.
Yeah. I know just shutting your eyes would work, so.
Think if I could choose a mutant power, I'd have to say I'd want it to be something subtle. I wouldn't want it to be something like that you could see.
Like, what's his name? Gambit?
Mm, all right, imagine this. Oh, we may have to scoot over, or maybe they can get by. Well, I was gonna say, like imagine if you could just like take someone that's standing, or just take an entity and be able to move that entity without teleportation, like 3 or 4 or 5 feet, like maximum of 5 feet, but be able to move them really fast, like within a blink of an eye. Just be able to move someone from here to like there really fast, or it doesn't not just someone, just anything at all. Just be able to basically limited telekinesis is what I would want,
Oh.
because I wouldn't want to be able to like do crazy crazy stuff with telekinesis, like I don't know, like lift a building up. I feel like I would abuse that
Yeah.
too much. But if I had the ability to like get someone out of harm's way quickly. Like if someone was about to be hit by a car, I could just go flink, and then they're fine. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like, abusing a power would just be up to the person wielding it.
Yeah, I definitely would. How would you abuse your Cyclops powers?
Um,
I'm cooking popcorn with lasers.
I would do, huh, I don't know. What would you do with lasers? I guess like a science experiment. Maybe use it for cooking.
I'd use it to make diamonds. I'd find some really high pressure press and put a rock in it and just beam the rock and press it at the same time until I had diamond.
Yeah, that might be useful. Or maybe when I'm bored, I would just wait until it's nighttime and see its star and blast it.
If I was bored, I'd wait until I wouldn't wait till nighttime. I would just go set up some bottles of water around and just beep, poof.
Magneto has a pretty cool power.
Magneto, yeah, moving around metal.
Yeah.
It's basically limited telekinesis.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, that's what it is.
But I feel like if you have telekinesis, can you even bend something?
Yeah, you
You
can.
crush it up?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like the whole thing. Like, if you have telekinesis, you can manipulate an object from a distance.
Yeah. So I'm
That's why I
just,
said limited telekinesis because some people have the ability to crush objects, to expand them, to do whatever they want with it. You know what I'm saying? While some people can only lift it up a few inches. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, when I think of telekinesis, I'm just thinking of just moving it around.
Well, I mean, I am moving around. I'm just crushing it and opening it up again. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I had to put science in like basic superpowers, like shape-shifting,
Mm-hmm.
if you have to shapeshift and thinking the science behind that, then that would be like rearranging your molecules in different areas, you know? What if you become like a box? Then how are you breathing? You probably have to keep your organs there, but like very slim or
I've never seen anyone shapeshift into a box, though. I've always seen them shapeshift into another living creature.
what about car? You're just inside them.
At that point, you just might as well play Transformers. Autobots roll out.
Autobots, roll out. I will get you. What's the good guys? The Autobot? Yeah. Said, I'll get you, Autobots.
Oh man, that's funny.
The Decepticons.
You ever seen Pacific Rim?
No.
You never seen Pacific Rim? It's kind of like it's similar to Transformers, but it's not. They have these things called Jaegers.
What's a Jaeger?
Yeah, I like the word. It's cool. Jaeger. But a Jaeger in Pacific Rim is like a giant mech, but it's controlled by two people. Like it's got to be controlled by two people. Like I don't know if you've ever seen Darling in the Franxx, the anime, but it's kind of like that. And they like you have to control like a whole mech using two people. And there's this one guy, and he's so good at it that it only takes one dude to control it, and he's like battling out these crazy kaiju's and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty cool.
yeah. If
I
you had,
think kaiju's are another really cool like fiction thing, like
yeah,
Godzilla and like the Mothra and like the thing that fought Godzilla the first time. The what's it called?
King Kong?
The Femura. It was in the Godzilla movie, the Femura,
Oh,
and it's got weird like it's alien looking. It's creepy
oh.
and it's huge.
What about the Kraken?
Kraken is that's a Pirates of the Caribbean shit. That's a Davy Jones locker kind of stuff. I hated that slime that came out of his mouth when he ate Jack, dude. That was ugh. That's like ugh, dude. That's nasty. I want none of that on me. Ugh. And he's just standing there smiling, like swinging his sword at the Kraken, and the Kraken comes down and just sneezes on Jack, and I'm just like, ugh, what the heck, man? I'm like, nah, 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 get this out of here.
Excuse
And
me.
he takes his hat and he just slings snot everywhere. And I'm just like, "Ah, I
That
couldn't
is
do it.
disgusting.
It was nasty.
That's like
I will say though, the cinematic effects, like that part of the movie, they did a really good job on that. Like it's as nasty it is, it's a really good job on the cinematics on that.
that's like Cat in the Hat with the purple slime.
Oh, well, no, 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 no.
The live action Cat in the Hat was pretty funny.
I don't understand why cats do that thing where they're like, no, 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 no. You know what I'm talking about? You seen those
Yeah.
videos? It's like they're almost imitating us.
They're becoming one of
Rise of the
humans.
Planets of the Cats. Picks up a cat. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
that's funny. Um, what are some crazy things that you believe in?
Crazy things I believe in.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I can tell you something. You know how like when you go to the store you can buy honey that's like really, really light colored, and then you can buy honey that's like really, really dark colored.
I think so, yeah.
You know how sometimes when you have honey, there'll be some honey that's really thin and you can easily pour it real quickly, and then there's some honey that's like really thick and viscous and it's like it takes forever to pour.
Yeah.
You know how they make that really, really super thick honey?
No, I don't.
Bees nuts.
Okay. I thought I was gonna learn an interesting fact, but here I am dealing with a D's nuts joke like it's 2015 or whatever. Oh my
Bees
god.
nuts.
Okay. You already had said it the first time.
uh,
Oh.
uh,
I feel like Nintendo really knows how to make their games fun.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
I have to disagree with that.
What?
I don't really find Mario that fun.
What?
I've played it a lot. I just don't find it
Have
to
you
be that
played the
fun.
recent Marios?
I've played a lot of Mario's, but no, I haven't played a recent Mario. But
Well,
it
that's
doesn't
probably the reason.
it doesn't matter. Super Mario Bros. I played that. I played the one on the Wii. I played the old
Well,
one.
which
I
one on the
played
Wii?
Mario
Which
Kart.
one on the
I
Wii?
played Mario Kart on the DS. I
Well,
have played a lot of Mario, and even though it was fun at the time, it's just not my style of game to play. I'm not a very 2D kind of person, and
which,
yes, Mario Kart is 3D.
what about Mario Galaxy?
I think that's the one you're talking about, where like it's like a world and you explore.
In space, yeah.
Yeah, I've played that before. It's okay, but like I
It's
said,
okay. What?
it's okay.
It's okay?
It's I'm just not a Mario fan. I'm not big on Mario.
So platforming then.
What do you mean?
That's what Mario is, platforming. That's the genre.
That's what it's called?
Platforming, yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know what that. I didn't. I don't really.
Platforms.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. No, it's just not really my like play style.
Have you ever played Sonic?
Yeah, I played Sonic. Sonic's fun. That's a little bit different.
Would you prefer that more than Mario?
Yes, I definitely would prefer Sonic more than Mario. Just
That's
because
that's also a platformer.
I know it is, but Sonic is like it's a little bit racing too
Yeah,
as
that's what
well.
makes it different.
It's like a mix. It's like its own kind of thing. And also, I have fond memories of Sonic because I played it with like some of my schoolmates when I was in school on the PCs when we weren't supposed to be playing it.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Well, I remember getting the computers like install. We'd bring flash drives and install cracked versions of Minecraft on computers and we'd play it together.
Yeah, I think
Oh, dude, that reminds me, bro. I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting you, but
yeah,
I used to play like I don't know who put it on there, but like so when I was in Chester, no, when I was in York High School, uh, they had like a drive for the whole school, right? Like so any computer that was connected to it could connect to that drive.
oh yeah.
And what would happen is that somebody put a copy of CS:GO on the drive, and so people are just in the back playing CS:GO while you're in typing class, and then you just have people over here like raging because they just got killed by a knife.
What the frick, man? What the frick? Has the teacher noticed anything?
Oh yes, there's a lot of people that got in trouble for it. A whole lot of people. I think one of my friends got suspended or expelled because of it. Actually, now that I think about it,
That
because
was the
he's
only reason.
yeah no because he was putting shit on the stuff and altering the stuff and changing stuff and he was hacking into the stuff
Oh,
and yeah he just wasn't doing a bunch of good stuff. But see, they had a lot of problems with that drive because there'd be kids that would delete the whole damn drive They found a way to delete the whole drive, and like that, you basically everybody that had work on there, because that's what it was for, is for students to put work on it, save it to that drive, and be able to get it back so they could turn it into their teachers. Well, then if someone went and deleted it, now you don't have a project. But see, then the teachers couldn't say anything because if your project was on there and it got deleted and it wasn't your fault, that there wasn't nothing you could do about it. So they had to let you redo it.
Yeah,
That
that
never happened
sucks.
to me though, but
Good thing everything's digital now.
I mean it was digital back then. That was the whole issue.
Oh, why didn't they have like this website that you can put your assignments on?
It wasn't a website. It was a
Like some sort of portal.
that's kind of what it was. It was just a drive,
So
but
like a hard drive?
kind of yeah. It was like one drive that was dedicated. It was called like the I think I forget what the name of it was, but it was like the C drive. It wasn't the C drive because that's like the main thing. It was like the E drive or something like that.
Because the way that schools are now doing it, you just have this portal
You have to
and
sign in and put your information in for those. This
yeah.
one you did. You just
Oh,
clicked on it and you put stuff in there or didn't. Now that I think about it though, they probably could have set it up to where you had to have a certain permission to go in and out, but then you'd have to give permission to students anyway to use it. So you wouldn't be able to use it for that unless you had permission anyway. And then if you give permission to the wrong person, they're just going to abuse it anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. There was this there's this kid at our school who did the same thing but was just with Minecraft. Um
Oh yeah, they did that too. Mine as well.
yeah. And we played so much of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, we definitely did. I definitely played a lot of that. I played more Gario than I played Minecraft though.
What's Gario?
Never played a Gario.
Oh, Agari, yeah, I played that.
Yeah, about to say. Dude, I played a lot of Agario and Vanish.io. I played a lot of that too.
Yeah, we had a lot of free time in that class because the original teacher that used to be in that class, like what was it, literal arts? She quit. So for the entire rest of the year, we just had a substitute. So we can just do whatever we want in that class.
That was lucky.
Yeah,
Freaking lucky.
I couldn't even believe it myself.
What was your favorite class in school?
It was like by
I don't care.
um okay, I'm gonna go by two categories. One socially. The best social class was like mm, the literal arts, because of the substitute. Um, digital photography, but that's also because of the subject. Um, I can't remember the name of some of these. It was English. And that's because of the sociality. Ba ba ba. Driving ed.
You enjoyed driving ed.
Yeah, because of the, socializing with others. And because I get to drive. I never gotten to drive before then.
Dude, I was paranoid about having to drive. I was
Well,
terrified. I thought I was gonna kill someone.
I was having fun.
I was not that way at all.
I had vlogs about it.
I think my favorite class was probably art class.
Yeah, me
That was
too.
that was definitely my favorite class, art class.
I like art
Learning
class.
how to shade and learning how to like we did like sculpting and modeling. Oh,
Yeah.
that was so fun. Like with the clay and the kiln.
Yeah, that's for me that's ceramics.
Yeah, ceramics.
I
That's
think
real fun.
well, it's not my first art class. The first art class would probably be in elementary school, but the first art class in high school would probably be ceramics.
Yeah, I had a really cool looking pot or something. I forget what it was. I gave it to somebody and now I don't have it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed ceramics. After burning them and
Playing whatever that coating of paint was.
yeah, but after burning them, they look kind of crappy. But I was still pretty good with it.
What? Wait, what?
With the ceramics.
That's weird because when we burned ours, they changed and looked way better than they did before.
Yeah.
Like
Just,
they were shiny afterwards.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just it looked a little bumpy and all.
Uh,
So it's probably because I needed more knowledge.
More knowledge. You
Knowledge.
needed more brain
I'm
thickness.
here with my
You needed more
Lamborghini.
wrinkles up there.
What?
You know, wrinkles in your brain. The more
Oh,
wrinkles you have, the smarter you are.
yeah, I know that.
That's why, like, you can insult someone, call them a smooth brain.
Yeah, you probably won't know what the heck they're talking about.
No, because they have a smooth brain.
That's true. You can play bowling on that brain.
That reminds me of Yo Mama joke. Yo Mama got teeth so big I can land a 747 on them bitches.
I don't know what that is.
A 747? A Boeing 747? An airplane?
Yeah, I'm not a car guy or
It's not a.
I know that. I know that. Listen to me. I am not a car guy or airplane guy, so all these numbers and letters they don't really say anything to me.
But a Boeing 747 is the most known aircraft
What
worldwide.
does it look like?
It looks like a commercial airliner.
I don't know what that looks like.
Look it up.
Fine.
It's literally like the average commercial airliner. It's like a huge ass jumbo jet.
I, I okay, what does the turbines look like? What does
It
the
looks like a
wings look like?
turbine and a bunch of wings. Just look it up.
Fine.
It's not that
I'm
hard.
thinking of a biplane.
No, it's not. It doesn't look like a biplane.
Okay. What about a triplane?
What?
What is
Excuse
it
me.
called again?
A 747.
747.
That's all you have to type in. Just hit enter and go to images.
Oh,
You don't have any internet.
let me use my house.
It's right there.
Triplane is a plane with three wings, if that's even aerodynamically accurate.
It can be.
It can be.
You want to know how?
What?
One wing on the right, one wing on the back, and one wing on the tail.
Oh yeah.
Tri-wing airplane. There you go.
I've learned that in the mobile game Bad Piggies. You ever played Bad Piggies?
I have. I have indeed played Bad Piggies.
That was fun.
It was a good way to waste some time. All you have to do is type in three numbers.
Hold on, I gotta turn on the internet. There we go.
Imagine not having internet.
Why can't? Because I have home everywhere I go and my mobile data. So it works. Also, mine has low internet, so I don't know if it's gonna go through well because this tree's on.
Why don't you just look it up on your phone?
Oh yeah. Why did?
I was not going to say anything. I was trying to wait for you to get to that conclusion.
Okay, I'm not gonna get mad at you for
I just felt like if I kept
that.
saying stuff, you would be like, shut up, guys.
You know, it's really hard to tell from. I don't even know myself. 747. Area code. What?
Now look at images.
Yeah. Those aren't you. Don't look right now.
How long do you think YouTube is going to continue to last?
Well, maybe until the sun blows up.
I don't think so. I think that YouTube is on its way out.
Like,
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
kind of like Disney.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be to that extent. I think that people will still use it, but I think that YouTube's content is going to die very soon.
So it's just gonna end up like Vimeo.
It,
Not Vimeo,
it's more gonna end up more like Vine.
something like
It's
that.
gonna
Yeah.
get shut down.
I think wherever I'm talking about, I don't know if it's called Vimeo.
Either two things are gonna happen. Either it's gonna get way worse and way more corporate than it already is, and no one's gonna watch it,
Yeah.
or it's gonna get shut down. Just because YouTube is so big now and it's causing a lot of issues. Like, yes, there's a lot of great creators on there, but like you have all these creators that are having their channels demonetized and taken down, and all these videos that have been taken down in the past. And like you have to be very careful about your copyright claims. You can't play music in here without getting your ass raped in court. So I really think that there's going to be a new platform that's going to come out and it's going to revolutionize the way we view content. Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing is yet to be discovered. But I definitely think that YouTube is going to go away. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I think it will go away.
Do you think Newgrounds is gonna get more popular than how it did
I
in the
don't even know what
past?
that is. I
Newgrounds?
don't know what that is.
It's where if you see any like animators on YouTube, it's most likely that's where they originated from.
So it's like a learning for animation,
Mm, not really
like a
learning for.
platform.
It's more like an introduction.
Uh,
But it's like a website that's like YouTube, but like everything's allowed.
huh. Yeah, that does sound like it would be kind of more popular.
Yeah, it's
Look,
like
I
the
don't think this
edgy.
guy's gonna fit. Dude, he got a big truck.
It's like the edgier YouTube.
Hmm.
Mostly animations instead of just let's plays or commentaries or documentaries or anything like that. It also provides game, uh,
I do my
animations.
own Let's Plays, but
Oh
I
yeah.
post it on YouTube.
Oh,
I made a meme compilation of my best Need for Speed clips. But I kind of overused the same meme too many times, and I didn't realize it until after I made the video.
when did you get like a comment or something?
No, it's just my buddy who's like also a YouTuber on the same game. He kind of like let me know. It's like, hey, yeah, it kind of got kind of repetitive after a while. And I was like, yeah. Now that I'm watching it, it does kind of get a little repetitive.
I've noticed on YouTube that they're recommending more like lower channels.
I actually have seen that a little bit. I have seen that, but that's also because I haven't been watching more popular channels. I've also noticed that YouTube is recommending a lot of really bad stuff. Like, I don't mean bad as in like not fun to watch. I mean bad as in morally bad. Like, you see all these videos about people trying to expose these woke people, and you see all these videos about women and men being against each other on podcasts and back and forth against each other. And I think that that is really detrimental to society. And I mean that in the wholest sense. I mean, I think that that is probably one of the most detrimental things that could be put on the internet, because what you end up having is a younger audience is consuming a lot of YouTube, and they're being force fed this content about women and men hate each other, and there's so many problems between women and men, and it's just, and they start to believe that, and so they'll go out and they may meet someone who they may have clicked with, but because they have this thought in their head that they're not compatible, then they don't interact with one another. And I think that can be very detrimental to society. And I think that it really needs to stop. I think that we need to stop bickering back and forth about who's right and who's wrong. And if you're going to make YouTube videos for content, then we need to find another way to do it that doesn't dehumanize someone else.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's just unnecessary to just be so dramatic about everything, you know?
They do push a lot of stuff over the top. It's not as, and a lot of this stuff too is like the skits, like the fake skits. That's also a really big problem. Like, you see the skits about girlfriends cheating on their boyfriends and then them breaking up with them and going their own way, Sigma male type videos. That is so fake, toxic, cancerous, and harmful. Like, downright harmful, man.
Yeah.
That's not how you treat people, okay? When you have an issue with someone, the best thing you can do is talk about it. Sit down and talk about it with them. And don't get rude, don't get loud, be respectful. You let them speak, you let them say what they need to say, and then they need to do the same for you. And if that doesn't happen, then you don't need to have a conversation with them. You need to say, look, I appreciate your values, but we need to move on from here. We don't need to continue talking.
Yeah, that's what I do with my girlfriend Gabby.
Because communication is key, man. If without communication, you can do nothing.
Yeah.
You really have to be able to communicate and to be able to share ideas, because if you think you can know everything on your own, you're sorely mistaken.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who just hate each other or believe that, I don't know, the earth is flat or the world's a simulation or something. Or even I don't know, the government is out to get them.
It is.
Well, yeah, kind of.
It definitely is in the U.S.
Yeah. But just anything that's just super dramatic is just stupid. Especially the type of women who say that cheating can be like thrilling for them.
See, I want to agree with you, but I just feel pity for them. I don't feel angry or hatred for them. I feel sad for them because I feel like that they were not given what they needed to have when they were growing up in order to make the right decisions. I really think that part of it, a lot of it is their fault. Yes. They made the decisions that they made, but they made those decisions because of how they were brought up and because men and women have not been faithful to one another.
Yeah, I know that.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it. And you have these women saying that they don't need men and that they're going to be strong and they're going to be dominant and whatnot, and they're basically kind of like they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Like it's only hurting themselves because the people that they would the people that they're attracted to are not attracted to them, and the people that they're not attracted to is what they're attracting, and so it's not gonna end well for them because what they're gonna end up attracting is a man that's gonna cheat. They're not looking for a faithful man. They want a man that has experience, and a man that has experience is not going to want to stay with one woman because he's already been with multiple.
Have you ever experienced any kids at your school that would always fake their personality just to be cool?
Oh yeah, that's almost everyone though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even you and I are guilty of that.
Well, I wouldn't say me.
I definitely think you've done that before.
Because well before, but
That's what
not
I'm not
now.
saying now, but you
Yeah.
asked me when I was in school, and so I definitely think that most kids in school do tend to fake their personality because they want to fit in. They don't want to get bullied.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the entire school experience for
No, I
me.
definitely acted a clown when I was in school. I definitely tried to make people laugh, and I tried to annoy the shit out of them sometimes just to get a reaction. And
Yeah.
it wasn't the right thing. Absolutely not. Did I do it? Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was only for me in elementary school.
I did that throughout school.
But until I got to high school, I tried to be a little more different and unique like myself.
I was just depressed in high school. I didn't do anything.
Of course, not many people related to me. I mean, who would, but
What do you mean by that?
because I'm such a unique person, you know.
We are all unique people.
I was at this little attraction at Carowinds, right,
Okay.
with my friend Carson.
All right.
Um, it was like one of those scale weights, and when you step on it, well, before you step on it, the person um asks you a bunch of personalized questions like what's your favorite color or what um what activity you likes to do or what makes you happy or something like
What is
that.
this? A personality test? Am I an NIJFT or something like that?
But
You
they
gotta
asked
take a personality test to ride the Carowinds ride. You better be an NIFT or you can't ride this roller coaster.
what the frick? But they ask you those type of questions and I guess from my knowledge, I guess it depends on what type of person. Like if they ask you like I don't know, what's your favorite thing in the world, and if you say like flowers or
Jesus
something,
Christ. That is my favorite thing in the world, and I mean that with 100% honesty.
yeah,
I'm dead serious.
I know.
Make sure you do.
Okay, I'll make sure of that. If they say flowers or gardening, and if they say what's your what's your age, that's a good one, and they say like 20. then they're probably gonna think that you're skinny. Because most skinny people would garden, and they're also 20.
Oh, no. That's not how this works.
Well, you get the example,
I
right?
mean, I get it, but it would be more accurate to say I'm 20, I play soccer. Okay, you're probably athletic.
Yeah, that's more.
Gardening, I'm gonna have to do a pass on that one.
That makes more sense.
I mean, if
Soccer,
anything, I would expect the gardener to be fat because they're getting food from it.
yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Soccer is 20 and
They
um
read books. Okay,
they
you're an
read books.
intellectual, you're a nerd, and you're athletic.
Yeah,
Okay,
all
great.
that.
Great for you.
So because of all that, they're gonna think you're very light-weighted and skinny. So they're gonna predict that, and once you step on a scale, they're gonna be right, and you don't win a prize, right? So once they ask me a bunch of questions, I'm so opinionated with certain things and so unique that they won't understand what the heck I am. So they pick I think, I don't know, I feel like 140 might be too light, right?
I don't know.
I don't know, I feel like that's the number they picked. Whatever. Um, whatever number they picked. They picked a number, I stepped on a scale, and it was way off that number. I was like, oh, no.
I still think that's a really bad way to figure out someone's weight because I feel like that doesn't have a lot to do with your personality.
Well, yeah, but I
I mean,
feel
it, it
like
can, it can, it definitely can do with your personality,
statistically,
but I don't think it's I don't think it's case by case. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah, that might work for the large majority, but not for everyone. No.
But even a fat man can read.
Okay,
But
what?
because if you're gonna ask, I like to read, they're gonna think that you're skinny, but you're
Why would they
fat,
think you're skinny if you like?
or you're
Who
light.
assuming?
Okay. They're gonna ask you questions. You're gonna say intellectual.
Okay, ask me a question then.
No, but
Ask me a question.
let me say this
All
first.
right.
You're gonna give intellectual related responses, right?
Okay.
They're gonna think you're light, even though they clearly see you as a very fat man. Um,
Oh man.
but I'm saying statistically it works, you know.
Okay.
So go on with whatever you're saying.
Ask me a question.
All right. What's your favorite? Um, okay. What's your favorite music?
Definitely Audio Slave. It's like alternative rock. I only really my favorite music is one band, Audio Slave. Chris Cornell, his music. That's my favorite music. It's just like alternative rock, kind of a little bit of heavy rock, um, kind of bluesy. But yeah, that would be my favorite.
What activities do you like to do?
Fishing, gaming, uh, being in the presence of God, and talking to people. Also archery. I like archery
Okay.
and shooting things, both living and dead or unalive. I shot a snake yesterday, actually, off a tree.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Sesame chicken from Golden Wide.
Okay. Well, those are all my questions.
And what have you determined from your answers?
That you would probably be a very fit person.
But I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I am to a certain extent. I just have a lot of extra. Like I'm strong. I have a lot of muscle, but I'm also got a lot of fat too. I'm chubby.
I would say that my dad would be the same way. But he's more than chubby, but I would say he is strong. He does, he fixes appliances.
I mean, when I cut steaks all day and lift hamburger and like have to move shit around, I have to have at least some kind of strength. Especially when you're down stacking those trucks. It's like that's a lot of stuff to move.
Yeah. When was the last time you've been to an arcade?
I want to say it was the Big E in Gaffney a couple years ago for one of my birthdays, and we went to see the movies. And the movie's all right. I don't know. Let me explain why I don't like arcades. Number one, germs. I feel like it's really dirty. And number two, why would I go and pay some place to play a game when I could just for a limited time, by the way, when I could just buy it online on my Xbox and play with people online with other people and only pay one time, and I could get a lot more enjoyment out of it. And the other part is it's generally loud and expensive, like loud, like what's called like audibly loud in the building where an arcade is, and I prefer quiet places. And yeah, I feel like it's expensive. I don't want to pay for something that I don't want to pay for something that I'm probably not gonna enjoy like that.
With it, well, they're like video games, but for like,
It's different. It's not like a video game you would buy on Xbox. I know it's like
well, yeah,
it's an arcade game. It's different. Yes.
it's made for like two players.
Yeah, it's made for two players, and it's just that's just not my game style. Like if I'm gonna play a game, I'm really realistically I'm only gonna play two or three different types of games. It's either gonna be a racing game, a survival game, or yeah, that's kind of it. Or wait, an MMO RPG like World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Those are gonna be like the three kind of games I'm gonna play. Like I don't play phone games. I don't have any games on my phone that I play. Actually I do, but I don't play it. It's RuneScape, which is also an MMORPG. Um, but yeah, I don't play games on my phone. I don't have apps for games. I don't play like what's it called? Arcade games. I don't play platform games like on the Wii anymore. I used to have a Wii and I used to play Wii games, but like Mario and that kind of stuff, it's just not my thing. And like card games, especially online card games, that is like the worst thing I can imagine. Now,
Yeah.
card games in real life, that's different. That's fun. That's engaging. You're actually talking to people. That's fun. I like that. But online card games, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. That's boring.
Yeah.
Absolutely boring. I would rather pull out my hair one follicle at a time.
Um, yeah, that makes more sense if you put it like that. I would say that Dave and Buster's keep it all clean.
It's not.
But
It's not even whether they keep it clean or not. It's just the idea that people I don't know have been touching these things, and now I'm touching them. It's just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
yeah. Um, what do you think that GTA 6 is gonna have compared to GTA 5?
You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna have. I think it's gonna have some inappropriate shit that
Well,
really
yeah,
that really shouldn't be in the game. Like,
of course it's gonna have that.
yeah, I know it's gonna have that. Like, I know that GTA 5 has inappropriate shit, but I don't know. I just feel like it's really. I feel like it's detrimental to people. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't participate in that kind of stuff because I've done it before and I probably still will do it. But I feel like that when you have games that encourage pornography, stealing, murder, trash talking, toxicity, it can kind of creep into your real life.
I play GTA in a different way
You,
because
you role play?
I tried role playing once. I've role played as this like server security officer, you know? Like whoever's griefing, I just chase them down, kill
Hmm.
them.
That's fine.
But that was kind of hard to do because everyone has these like flying rocket bikes now.
So, and something I really enjoy on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever heard of this YouTuber or not. His name is he goes by JMW Films, and what he does is he takes SCPs, monsters, science fiction from movies, X-Men,
Yeah.
like basically all genres, and he has mods and a server that he runs, and he puts those mods in, and then he role plays, and everybody on the server role plays. And
Oh,
so, like, for instance, we'll talk about like SCP, the Peanut. You know what that is?
Is that the one that looks like a peanut?
and it's like 3,000 pounds made of stone, and if you blink, it'll crack your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like he can be that SCP, and like he'll show up to some random person in his server, and like they're like, oh,
And
and
they'll just get
then they have to role play it, and they're like, what is this thing? And then like, cause like he's got all these commands where they like blinking does stuff, and like like it's really like modded and thought out, and it's really good, and it's so entertaining to watch these people, and it's funny how he scares them. And I think that when you're in a role play scenario like that with something that isn't so inappropriate, like yeah, it's scary, and yeah, it's bad, and it's kind of demonic, but it's not like it's.
like it's too forced on.
I mean, you choose to join that server and whatnot, but it's not like they're being sexually explicit. That's what really gets to me in GTA is the sexual explicitness. I don't like that because a child, yeah, it's rated 18 plus, but a child can get a hold of GTA 5 or 6,
That's
and
true.
now they're exposed to that kind of stuff, and they're going to continue to be exposed to that, and they're going to want to be exposed to that, and that's going to cause detriment to them. And I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a good thing to have porn in a video game unless you specifically bought that video game for that. And even then, that's just not good at all. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I play GTA in a different way. I just see it as just this open digital virtual world that I can just do whatever in. I mostly just like race around the not in like one of those racing minigans, but in the actual city I like to race around
Yeah,
because that feels more real than the racing tracks.
it does because there's more like so. I agree with you that on 100%. It does feel more real because you can go into places that you normally can't on a normal racing game. And I agree with you. If you're playing a game like that, like you're playing it in the sense you're looking for the game, you're not looking for, you know, that other negative stuff, then yeah, I think that's fine. Play your game. That's cool. Whatever.
I even played golf on there.
Golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else do I like to do? Just flying around in a plane, dodging cities. Um,
Driving under bridges and stuff.
yeah. I remember when I first experienced that Halloween update where when it's like October and they put like UFOs in the sky, or this one time where I've counted that like demon car where it just appears out of nowhere, it's like on fire and chases you down. I was like in a corner, so my experience was a little weird. So I was like, what the frick is happening? What's this weird spotlight? So I don't know what was happening at the time, but I found out later. And
Being chased by a car, I had no idea.
yeah. But if I was like on a highway while driving, that would be super cool.
It's funny because the the YouTuber I mentioned, JMW Films, he's got this one SCP called the Night Hauler, and it's basically a black semi truck that goes like 300 mile an hour
Wow.
and will like ram people off the road in the middle of the night. And he only appears in the middle of the night. Once it comes daytime, he disappears.
That would be fun to see.
And that's like, yeah, it's like a video. You should check him out. It's really he does GTA 5 role plays. He's really cool, really fun videos to watch. I recommend the floating knife.
The flowing knife.
The floating knife is like it gives me chills now because it's
What does
such a
that
good
do?
video. He basically plays as a floating knife.
So it's just a knife that's.
It's just a floating knife that goes around killing people. And it is so.
Does it move around like a fish?
Yes, it's like terrifying. He circles their fucking cars like a shark.
Oh
And
my
he
god.
plays Jaws music and like he's like a soundboarder and he'll play music and shit
Dun,
to
dun,
scare him. It's
dun,
it's
dun.
awesome. Yes, it's
Dun,
literally
dun,
that.
dun,
It's literally that.
dun.
And then like on this video on that one floating knife video, he like kills a cop, but his panic button goes off, and so the next cops comes and sees, and he's like getting just bits and pieces of what's going on, and then that cop dies and his panic button goes off, and then another cop comes, and then the cycle repeats, and it's like they're going off just the bare minimum of information that they got from the last dead cop.
That's funny.
It's a great video. I recommend watching it. So good.
I also like being chased down the beach being chased down by the cops.
Yeah, that can be really fun too.
Yeah.
I usually do that in Need for Speed Rivals. I play a lot of Rivals, and that's like a lot. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
You can play as a cop and chase people, or you can play as a racer and run from people. And in that game, it's a little bit broken because one of the level one racer cars, the Mustang, uh, so the max speed you can go in the game on either side is 282 mile an hour, and the car that can do that is a DLC car that's free. It's the Koenigsegg 1-to-1. Well, the Mustang, or by the way, the Koenigsegg is a level 4 car. The
Yeah.
Mustang is a level 1 car, and its top speed is 240 mile an hour, which is only 42 mile an hour difference from the fastest car in the game, and you're level 1. So yeah, it's broken. So I will take the Mustang out and I'll just run from cops. And they'll be like, dude, he's in a level one car and I can't catch him. And they'll be getting mad. They'll be driving Koenigsegg's and I've killed people driving Koenigsegg's in that car and they'll be so mad. So mad.
What would happen if you get like the max level?
Well, see, the max heat level is 10, but you can't like you don't come out as a 10. Like the max level of a car that you can get is 4, but you can go up to heat level 10. And so once you get up to heat level 10, the cops basically become a weapon. Not for you, against other people.
Huh?
Because in Rivals, for some odd reason, cops love to hit other cops. AI cops really ruin the fun of the game. Like they will ram you out of the way trying to get to somebody else, and it will make it way harder for you to kill somebody as a cop. And so what I'll do as a racer is I'll get to level 10, and then once you get to level 10, you just don't stop, because if you stop, they'll all pile up on you, and then you'll be dead. But you don't stop. And then you just have a group of cops that follow you around at really high speed. And if someone so happens to get hit by one of them, well, they're going to get messed up.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like when I'm racing down a road in GTA, I feel like the pedestrian cars just have this type of IA or
AI.
AI
IA.
where when you're about to pass by them, they
Want to turn
intent
out in front of you.
yeah,
Yes.
they I feel like they do that intentionally.
That happens in Rivals as well. Yep,
That's crazy.
and games do that on purpose. By the way, they do that on purpose. It's part of the code. It's so that you react to it.
Oh, well, I feel like that's very effective.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know why they do that. Like, but yeah, like I've come up behind so many traffic cars and Rivals just for them to turn left. Same thing with AI cops. Like you'll be going like AI cop will be on your right, the racer be in front of them in the middle, and you'll be on the left hand side coming up real fast, and all of a sudden the cop on the right just slams into you from the left side from the right side, and you lose the racer because the cop's just like no, 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 no.
No, I don't think
Game's
so.
like no, you can't have this. No, bye.
Yeah. What else do I like about GTA? I really like just going into shops and dress up, like fashion shops,
I
and
saw I
buy a
saw
bunch of clothes.
saw a couple dudes do that, but they like got into like police outforms and then trolled other people.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen them where like they get into a police outform and then they like pull over somebody and then steal their car? It's
Oh yeah.
funny.
Yeah, exploration is pretty fun when it comes to video games.
I agree. I agree.
No.
I'm thinking about getting a new video game, but I don't know what I'm gonna get yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want a survival game. I want a good survival game to play.
Um, have you ever heard of Outer Wilds?
No, I haven't.
It's like this space game where you're playing as this astronaut and you explore to different planets and learn about this ancient civilization.
Sounds like Astroneer.
Yeah.
You ever played Astroneer?
No.
It's not that great.
Well, I guarantee you this game will probably be way better. Um, but yeah, it has a lot of stuff in terms of like science and space.
No, I'm really, really particular when it comes to games that I like. Like, I have, I will name the four main games I play. And this is over all of time, okay? Need for Speed, and that includes all of the titles because I've played all of them.
Yeah.
Minecraft, World of Warcraft, Ark Survival Evolved. I have 5,500 hours in Ark.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In World of Warcraft, I don't know, but it's probably close to at least 3,000. Minecraft is around 2 to 3,000. Need for Speed is around 2 to 3,000. The other games I've played don't even come close. And the reason why Minecraft, Ark, and World of Warcraft and Rivals are the main games is because for Rivals, for me in particular, it's the hunt. Because I'm gonna explain this. And back when I was a little bit younger, I used to take a lot of substances that were not legal. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And one time I took some stuff, and it kind of put me in this zone where I felt like I was chasing real people in Rivals as a cop, and I felt like I was a cheetah, and I was chasing my prey, and if I didn't catch them, that I wasn't gonna eat, and I might die, like I might seriously die, and I really thought that, and I was like, and I was so honed in because I was in that predator mindset that after I took those substances, even now, I can sometimes kind of slip back into that predator mindset, and it allows me to be really good at the game, like better than I should be, because I can get into that kind of predator prey mindset. And I really like games that you can kind of get into like that, like with kind of like the Isle, which is like a dinosaur game where you're hunting people and they're hunting you. And then with Minecraft, the reason why I really like Minecraft is because of creativity. Obviously, I really like creativity. Creativity through struggle, especially, can be cool. It's not always what I like to enjoy. Sometimes I like free creativity, but
Yeah.
creativity through struggle is a really good concept through survival games like that. I don't like the fact that it's not challenging enough. Like, don't get me wrong, Minecraft can be very challenging because you have creepers and mobs and skeletons. It's not that they're not challenging. Well, I would say that zombies and spiders and even to some extent skeletons when you get a shield are not challenging. Creepers even the same thing, not really challenging. Once you know the mechanics, it's no longer challenging.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of limits Minecraft because once you've killed a skeleton 500 times, you know how they work. Yeah, they can kill you if you don't have a shield or if you're turned around, but it's not really hard at that point. It's just annoying. Versus if I'm playing Need for Speed Rivals and I'm racing against a real player, they're not going to take the same route as a skeleton or a zombie every time. It's going to be different for each and every person because it's a real person, and they're not going to be using the same car every time.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, Ark. The reason why I like Ark so much, and the reason why it's my most played game, number one, dinosaurs. I like the idea of eating things as a big dinosaur. I really do. And you can go out and you can tame a dinosaur that's a wild dinosaur that wants to eat you, and you can take it from wanting to eat you to wanting to eat other people.
Yeah.
And then you can use that dino to go eat someone's base, and that's real fun. It's just real fun to mess someone's base up. And it's not fun when your base gets messed up.
Yeah.
So Ark is a love-hate game because of that. I like the idea of being able to tame a dinosaur and being able to use it. But I don't like it because it's almost too because when you tame a dinosaur in Ark, it doesn't ever disobey you. It always does exactly what you want. Like in the wild, the dino would roam around and eat stuff. But once it becomes tamed, they no longer move unless you tell them to move. And I don't like that. I feel like that's kind of it takes out it takes out the realism of the game in my opinion. And even though I played it so much, I don't like that aspect about Ark. The final game that I'm going to mention is World of Warcraft, and I have a lot of time spent on World of Warcraft. And I think what really makes World of Warcraft a great game, or at least it did, was the combat mechanism. So in World of Warcraft, you enter combat by clicking on a target, and then you have abilities that you can use, like a slash does this amount of damage, a block, you can block something, a heal, you can heal something, you can cast a spell, you can interrupt a spell, you can gain a blood rage, which increases your hit speed or something like that. So you've got these all different kinds of abilities that you need to learn a rotation for.
Yeah.
So you enter a fight, you press this and then this and then this and then this and then this, and once you learn your rotation, you get kind of good at it, and now you have a rotation to go through every time you come up to a target. And so combat can be engaging and fun, and it can be repetitive in World of Warcraft if you play it too much because you're just doing the same rotation. But if you decide to change up your rotation, it can also be fun, and like using different abilities in order to make it more fun. And I like that aspect. Also like the fact that in World of Warcraft, you can choose to play as a solo all the way up to the max level.
Yeah.
Or you could play with a group and do dungeons and beat bosses that are harder than you would ever be able to do on your own and get really good loot for it. And I think that's a really good way to foster community gameplay by encouraging people to play with each other without making it like mandatory to play with one another. And I think that was a really good way to run a game back in the day. And I like that combat that kind of mechanic behind it. I no longer play World of Warcraft because not only do I know the entire game, but the direction it has went is not. It's really just not good. The developers are. I just don't believe they're putting the game down a path that I think would be good. But it's their game, so they can do whatever they want to with it.
Right. Have you ever thought about playing Sonic Frontiers?
I don't even know what that game is.
Well, it's a Sonic game.
I can assume that much.
And Sonic has been brought into this digital world, I guess. And you have to save these little spirit guys, like in a shell or something. Um, I guess I can just tell you the game mechanics. So there's like a skill tree
Mm-hmm.
for fighting enemies.
Okay.
Like you can turn into a ball and spin and hit them multiple times, or you can like drop dash down into them. Um, or do like a bunch of multiple punch all at the same time. And there's also like a speedometer with the game.
Yeah.
So you can upgrade your speed and your max ring level and defense and health and all that stuff.
This kind of sounds like it's almost like a RPG.
Yeah, kind of.
Like you got stats and whatnot. I do like that about games. I like games that give you stats, like Dark Souls, like having like being like Fallout, Dark Souls, Skyrim. I've also played a lot of Skyrim.
Yeah. What I like about stats is
It allows you to customize your character.
yeah,
It becomes more personal to you when you're able to influence like for instance, let's say you want to build that's really fast, you can make that happen. You want to build that's really tanky, you can make that happen. Whatever you want to role play as, you can then do that through the stats, and I like that. And World of Warcraft actually has a talent tree like that, similar to where you can like, it's not quite the same as far as like you can just spec into different things, but it's kind of similar to that where you can pick certain bonuses or a certain class and then you can play a certain way. And I
yeah,
like that. I like being able to choose how you play the game because sometimes I may want to go and be a damage build, a raw damage build that does massive damage numbers, like them big goaded numbers. And then sometimes I maybe want to be a healer that keeps people alive. Or maybe sometimes I want to be a tank that can just take stupid amounts of damage and get back up and say, "Is that all you got?"
yeah. I feel like the way they use a healer in Team Fortress 2 is pretty fun.
I don't like that at all.
Well, maybe it's to some extent fun, but
It's the only reason why I don't like that is because you can't heal multiple people realistically at one time. You can with the syringe gun if you like spray and pray,
Yeah.
but it's not effective. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good effective way to heal like a group of people at the same time. You have to switch from one target to the other. And then you have on top of that, you can have snipers that will just kill them over top even through the overheal. And I don't like that. It's like I'm healing a heavy and I got some guy with the fucking bizarre bargain and he's over there, pow, and my heavy's dead. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What I like about RPGs is whenever you're leveling up and whenever you want to grind, you can just go back into the easy enemies and keep on leveling
I
up.
do like that. I do like that idea. Because what that allows you to do is that allows you to over level your character.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier for like the next part. Now, you don't have to do that. That's a choice you can make. And that's another good thing about it too, because there are people that don't want to play that way.
Yeah.
And
I like to play in a personalized way.
it kind of reminds me of both World of Warcraft and actually not World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is one of the games where that actually doesn't really apply as much because after over leveling 5 levels, you no longer gain experience from the low level monsters. You'll still get the loot, but you won't get any experience. Whereas in games like RuneScape, you still get the experience from killing low level monsters just because you keep attacking and that's how you level up shit.
But yeah, you'll really like Sonic Frontiers.
I have I have this dream where I want to create my own game.
Yeah.
I think I've told you about this before, but I want it to be a game where you have a skill tree and you can decide whether you want to be fast, slow, tanky, damaging. They said I want it to be customizable. I want this game to be super customizable, like the way your character looks, the way your character performs, your damage rotation and how you do it, and like the way you explore and the way you gain experience. I want it to be like a overarching kind of thing. And I've made like uh, a story bible
Yeah.
of a current game that I've been designing and developing. It's just theory crafting at this point because I don't have any code or any software to like develop it. But it's I call it Titans Craft Online is what the name of it is. And the story of how it goes is that in the beginning, there was these races, halflings, orcs, or halflings, humans, elves, and then you have like some other stuff that I made up. Like just like because I didn't want to use the same old generic orcs, humans, elves, that shit. I ended up making a couple more and including them. Like, but I don't remember exactly what they were. Like some of them were like the Ashen, like they're like kind of undead, but they're ash. And then you have like the Slytherin, which are like they're like they have like scaly skin, kind of like snakes,
Yeah.
but they're not. They're not predator. They're not carnivores. They're like herbivores. And so, anyways, so you have these races that were in the beginning, and then this old god, this demon guy, the basically the ultimate evil, was mad that all of the creatures were, rejoicing and praying to their god or whatever, and not to him.
Oh.
And so what he did is he awakened this colossal titan beast, and I don't know what I named it. Oh yeah, it's the Archdevil. But let me look up a little image of something because I want you to actually see what I'm talking about. All right, so I would design this guy off of. I got this design from another game I played, but I would change it so that it's not going to be copy paste, but I want it to be kind of similar to the way this looks if I can get it to pull up. But it's from the game Epic War. Are you familiar with Epic War? It's a Flash game.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Seems like something that YouTuber were sponsor.
Yeah, it's an old game, real old game. Why is it not working? Oh, I don't have any signal here. Oh, this is aggravating. don't have any signal. Oh wait, maybe I do. I don't really have enough. Wait, come on, load up. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Kill him.
Do it.
Kill him now.
Do it.
Should
Oh,
I?
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I can't get this to load. Nah. I really want to show you a picture. Can you pull up your phone?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Let's clean.
Yeah, because I just don't have enough internet for that right now.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, so we can look at the images. It's gonna take more time to load now. Yeah, you might as well just type it in because I fucked up. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's not it. That is the other guy. That's the Titan, the Fire Titan. That's not him either. I don't see the guy because he's like a. That's all Epic War 3. I'm looking for Epic War 1. I don't actually see a picture of the guy, but it's this game right here, Epic War 1, and it's on Concrete Games. Anyways, in the I'll explain the game and then I'll explain why it relates to the game that I want to create. So in Epic War, you have halflings, dwarfs, orcs, humans, and other shit, and you have a castle that you have to defend. It's a tower defense game, and then basically you have mana that generates over time, and then your mana allows you to summon your units. Your units then walk out and then try to take the enemy's tower. And then their tower does the same thing to your tower. But you have a turret, a crossbow turret that you can shoot. They don't have a turret. Well, they eventually get a turret, but it's not as powerful. But you have a crossbow turret that you can shoot, and then you can send out your troops and whatnot. Well, when you get to the end of the game, they have what's called on your side you get an archangel, and on their side they get an archdevil, and it looks like this giant monstrous like it's almost like it's made out of molten rock and it's real craggy with lava flowing down and its face is all smoky and it covered in flames and stuff. Well, anyways, I decided to take that kind of design and change it. And so the old god of Titan's Fall Online, he awakens this archdevil out of a volcano and he literally erupts a volcano and a giant hand comes out and slams down on the ground. And then another one comes out and slams down on the ground. And then this 1,000-foot tall giant crawls out of a molten volcano and begins to walk toward the main island because the volcano is in the sea. And this guy is walking through the ocean, and his knees are about as deep as he goes, and he's in an ocean, and he's just walking across. And they can see this from miles and miles and miles away, and they just have to watch this abomination, like apocalyptic event, just slowly meandering its way through the ocean, and just steam is going everywhere because he's insanely hot around it. He vaporizes anything within 20 meters of him, and he's just slowly walking like this right here. And so the idea was that in Titanfall Online, you would create a character, and it would be an orc, halfling, human, elf, something like that, right? And then you would level up your character like you would normally in like a World of Warcraft game. You would build your stat trees, your combat rotations. You could spar with people and have duels, kill animals and raise your skills, and then you would be able to build a fort. You can either join other people's forts or you can make your own fort. And a fort is basically a way to stop the archdevil. So there's going to be a building mechanic in this game. You know, like Clash of Clans?
Yeah.
It would be similar to Clash of Clans where you have ballistas and trebuchets and siege engines that would help you to weaken the archdevil. And then the main thing will be your walls. And so you would level up your walls because this guy is 1,000 feet tall. You're going to be able to have up to 500-foot tall walls.
Yeah.
So if you have a 500-foot tall wall, it's going to take this guy some time to break one of those walls. I don't know how long it would be. I would have to run stress tests and experiment on the game before I would be able to do it. But basically, the bigger your walls, the more time you have to deal damage to the Archdevil. And the Archdevil's main goal is not to destroy anybody's one particular fort. The Archdevil's goal is to destroy the main pre-built by the creator game city. So like there would be like a city in the game that would be there before, like it's just like an NPC city, right? And the Archdevil's goal is to make it to that city, right? And so he's gonna walk from one side of the continent through people's forts and defenses to try and get to the main city.
Wow.
And their goal is to do as much damage as they can before he reaches the main city. When he reaches the main city, because he will, it's kind of intended for him to reach the main city. There's going to be a final battle
Yeah.
where they have to do all the rest of the damage, and then the hero, which is like the king, the hero king. I don't know his name, but like I have it all written down in my storybook. He comes out and they come up with this weapon because they can't kill him because they can't penetrate the stone and whatnot, and so they come up with a really sharp uh, special metal that allows them to put it on a spear bolt. And this guy decides he's gonna hop on the spear bolt. So the hero king gets on the actual bolt and they shoot it into the mouth of the beast, and like it breaks through his teeth because he shuts his mouth, breaks through his teeth, and the hero is damaged. The hero king is damaged. He doesn't die, but he's like damaged. And then he leads his people after this. So it hits the Colossus in the mouth, and this causes the Colossus to fall over.
Yeah.
And so the hero king rallies his people, and they all enter the mouth of the beast. And they have and I didn't mention this, but they you have to go through a storyline where you gain the armor available so that you don't die due to the heat. This armor will specifically protect you from the heat of the colossal. And basically, he gathers his army, and that includes basically all the players, and they go inside of the mouth of this colossus. And this is where the raid happens. So you know what a raid is, right?
Yeah.
It's basically like a big giant encounter. So they first go to the throat of evil, and so they enter the throat and they having to dodge fire and other mobs and elementals that are coming out of the throat of this titan. Once they make it through the throat and they beat the whatever mechanics I decide for there, they enter the heart or the legs or whatever. And actually, I think it starts off the throat and then they bypass. They go to the stomach, and then they beat the stomach, they go to the legs, and then they come back up to the arms, and then the heart, and then the head will be the final thing. And once they've beaten everything, the colossal turns to stone and then crumples and completes, and then everybody's victorious. And that's how the game kind of ends on that note. So that's the kind of game that I want to create, where you have the ability to build, you have a building mechanic, you have an incentive to work together due to this massive threat incoming. You have really good, cinematic and graphics because all this is going to look really cool. You have the ability to customize your character perfectly, and you have an engaging storytelling and questing system and leveling up system as well as a dueling system so that everyone can really experience. If you're a role player, you can experience your role play. You can have a lot of fun with that. If you just like to be a damage dealer and do that, you can do whatever you want. If you like to be a PvPer and play against real people, you have a dueling arena, that kind of thing. So I want to kind of cater to a lot of different people while still focusing on that main goal of, defeating the archdevil.
Yeah. I feel like once you enter the archdevil's mouth and into the body, it should be like, the throat,
The throat of evil, and then it was like the I think it was called the pit of fire was the stomach, and then it was like I don't know what I call. I have names for each of the encounters and shit. But what are you saying?
yeah, like the throat, the heart, and then the stomach, then um because like the digestive system.
That's the
Um
stomach, yeah.
yeah, the stomach,
And then the legs.
legs. And then you should like have some type of
Actually, I think the way it went when I put it in my story is that so the archdevil, after he was knocked over and all the people rushed in, he actually got back up and he was still trying to destroy the city. So what they did is that they went for the arms first to disable his arms so that he couldn't attack the city, and then they went to the legs so he couldn't move. So they kind of they jumped around because they needed to in order to bypass. So that's kind of how I explained it in my story,
yeah.
so that it would make sense. Because I didn't want them to jump straight to the heart. or to the stomach because I felt like that would be like the center. And if you were to kill the heart, you would think it would die, right? So, and actually, I don't even think the head was the main thing. The head actually technically should be the first thing because that's what you're entering. But anyways, so they go into the mouth and then they go to the arms to disable the arms so he can't attack. Then they go to the legs so he can't move. And then they go, oh yeah, yeah, another mechanic too. You have to disable both of the arms and both of the legs at the same time or within like 30 seconds of each other, otherwise it won't work. So your team has to split into two, which is this I like this mechanic, like this raid mechanic because it's very complicated. It's not very complicated, but it's complicated enough that you need to be skilled and you need to be able to communicate with your people. Hey, we need to have you guys are doing too much damage over here. Give us some time to get this over here down to the same time so we can beat this. And so you have to kind of communicate with your team so that both of the arms and both of the legs go at the same time. Otherwise, the guy will just regenerate.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool mechanic.
I was thinking like while he was like unconscious or something, you would go all the way down to the body, like to the legs,
Hmm.
and then I don't know, have this sort of self-destruct button or just destroy something to make the entire body explode. And how it would explode, it would just like first it would erupt inside the body so that all your team can come out of the body the way you came up.
Hmm.
So it comes out of the mouth and then explodes.
I like that. Building on to that, I think because what my original idea was is that there was going to be a boss for each section. So let's say we'll focus on the legs for now. So when you go down to the legs, the boss will be at the knee. So in this Colossus's body, there's like fire elementals. That's going to be like the main like mob that you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be dealing with lesser ones like in between, and then like your boss fire elementals.
Yeah.
And so the kneecap or the joint is where going to be one of the basically you're going to have two bosses here
Right.
on either side. And so when you beat that boss, it explodes and the kneecaps break. And then the same thing for the elbows. And then when you go to the stomach, you beat the stomach is a real hot one. That's where you get that heat at. And so you beat that one all together, and then it explodes. The stomach blows up, and then you go travel up to the heart, it blows up, and then you go to the head, and it blows up, and then you all come out the mouth.
Oh,
So yeah, it would work similar to that, but I wouldn't use explosive charges. I would just have the death of that fire elemental cause an explosion to break up the body.
yeah. I might like if I did that, I would probably use it like just as an obstacle to get it out of the way, and then once you reach the legs and try to detonate the entire body, you would have this timer that pop up on the screen, and that's the amount of time that you have to
To get
escape the
out,
body. Yeah.
it's like, you better hurry up.
Yeah, because there's gonna be like a bunch of, I don't know, lava rising up or something.
Yeah. I may have to incorporate some of that too. I like that, like lava raising up. I think. See, now when I talk about the throat of evil, my idea is that so you know how animals have vertebrae where like there's spaces in between the vertebrae. I was thinking that on the inside of this beast that you would have to hide behind the vertebrae as the flame rushes past, and then go back out and then fight the elemental there, and then go back in when the flames go past, and you would basically have to complete that, continue doing that until you beat the elemental for the throat.
Yeah. But it might be a little too repetitive for the player though.
No, I don't think so. Not for that one. That's just for one fight. That's not for like
No,
everything.
okay. In
Just
that case, probably.
and it wouldn't happen like super often. It'd be like once every 30 seconds. You would have to move aside, wait for the flame to fucking rush past you at super hot high speeds,
Yeah.
and then go back out and then start fucking up.
Alright. Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
I really do. I put a lot of thought into it. Like I have a whole story Bible. There's actually characters that I've talked about. Like oh yeah, I think his name is King Victor or something like that is the hero's name.
Uh,
But yeah, it's something that I really have like a passion for. That's what I want to do is like make this game a reality.
you should put like obsidian horns on the body.
Dude, I wish I could show you like I wish I could show you actually, you know what? When we get done, when we go back up here, we'll stop at my grandmother's and I'll grab my story Bible and I'll show you like the description of it
Like,
because I have it all written down and dude, this guy looks sick. He's got like his face is obscured by smoke. You can't even see it because it's just smoke is billowing out of his mouth. And he's got like these dark black teeth that look like fucking pillars,
Yeah.
like hexagonal pillars, and they come down and it's like this fire. And then he's got this crown of fire going on crazy, and you can see him for miles walking across the scene. I'm like, hey, let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Okay, so as part of the storyline, when he makes landfall, he's gonna attack an NPC city,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like this pivotal moment in like the game where like you realize this guy is not playing.
So like an example.
Yeah, so like a big example. And actually, in that battle, the king's daughter dies,
Oh.
and the king's daughter is like someone that the players like they get to know the daughter a little bit and get to spend some time with her and like get to know her, and then she ends up sacrificing herself to save some kids out of that village, and she ends up dying. So it's like a heart-wrenching thing, so they have even more motivation to go kill
Yeah.
this big giant thing. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
yeah, I really like this game. I've thought a lot about it.
Yeah, I can see that you're pretty good with writing
Yeah, I like
stories
I
and
like stories like that, like but I like connecting with emotion, like because with music and art and literature and games, if you can connect to people's emotional side, you'll be able to do whatever you need to do.
yeah.
Because you think about it, if you're if you're playing a game that's not engaging you emotionally, you're bored.
Yeah, I feel like connecting other people emotionally is like the best way to do it.
Yep, it absolutely is.
Yeah, my best thing about story writing is that character development, so that
Definitely.
you can
Adding on to that, sorry, adding on to that, I didn't mention this, but the king actually has two daughters. So he
yeah
has a younger daughter. And so, speaking of character development, when the older daughter dies, so the younger daughter was kind of brat. All right, she wasn't. The older daughter is like this stand-up woman. She's graceful, she's kind, she's loving, and she does what's right and needs to be done. And then
yeah
she ends up sacrificing, and then she dies. The younger daughter's like a brat. She doesn't care. She's rude. She's whatever. But when her sister dies, she realizes she kind of has to step into that role, and so her character starts to change, become that more like that.
oh
And so people actually will end up starting liking her character too.
yeah yeah that's pretty good.
So yeah, I do agree. Character development is also a really good part of storytelling and making sure that they're not stale. They don't always stay the same. And also another reason why the king jumped on the bolt was because his daughter died. Because he was so fucking hell bent on killing this thing. He said, "I'm riding this damn bolt." Like it's like a bolt, like a huge ballista bolt with a giant it's like an I get you would I would you're it would be equivalent to adamantium bolt that just literally pierces through the teeth of this monster, and then like yeah,
Yeah,
falls down. Everybody just they're fucking running into the mouth.
yeah, I have a game idea about robots
Okay.
where so when you start the game, you start up as this robot in this little area, it's just
Hmm.
blue skies, green grass and all
Green gas.
that. Grass, whatever. And you go through the tutorial level, right?
Yeah.
And you figure out how the mechanics works, um, how to move your player, what the character does, blah blah blah. And then the cool thing about the tutorial, so when you the the more and more you progress through it, you can see that the area you're in is not real. It's just like a big biodome to make it look like it's a real
Uh,
place.
I've seen I've seen like concepts like that. I know what you're going for.
Yeah. So now you realize that you're in this like test chamber. And then there'll be this little TV
What kind
thing.
of robot, if I might ask? Like, is it like a mech? Is it like a Terminator robot? Is it just like a Chappie kind of robot?
Um, yeah, it's like a chappy type of robot.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, and you see this TV, and this TV has this monitor that can allow to scan you and transport you to a different type of TV that's like that one. into a different area. So it's like a transportation type of device.
Uh,
And you get transported into this lab, and you start to see that, well, how the story goes. Um, so the scientist go, okay, this scientist wants to build robots, right?
yep.
And he can't find any other jobs that will let him in. But he only finds this one job, and this one job only only builds robots for military purposes. Yeah, I'll get some water. Military purposes. Thanks.
Hmm.
Um, what else? Government purposes. Gets used for, just bad stuff.
Bad stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
The scientific method, exploration,
yeah. But
the pursuit of knowledge.
so he takes the job, but the way he likes to build robots is just to, serve others and make a world a better place and just make society more efficient and, useful and all that. So after a few months of working there, he gets depressed of, how his job does things. So in secret, he makes robots, but for, good of mankind. But he doesn't let anybody know about it. He doesn't let the job know about it, nor his boss. But then they find out about it, and then they fire him. So, but I don't think they get rid of all of his, like, creations. So,
Obviously, because there's still money involved in it.
yeah. So I think they'll just put it in storage for later.
And that's where the player comes in. They just
Yeah,
wake up from storage and they're like, yo, what the fuck's going on?
yeah. But the scientist starts to make his own business of making robots. So he does that. But then also thought of I also thought of this other scientist where he makes his robots a little more lethal than how the job wants their robots. Like more lethal, more dominant. So basically just like world domination. And his job or their job don't really like how he builds it because they're too lethal. And he gets very angry about it. Well, this is after he gets fired. So he gets very angry about it and builds this sort of device that emits this sort of
Pacifier?
what?
Pacifier? Like it pacifies the robots or what?
Like it's it tran it transmit a signal
Okay.
to the other robot's algorithm to make them evil.
Okay, so it's an aggressifier.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so. But not with the good scientist robots, because their algorithms are different from the Jobs robots.
Gotcha.
So
So basically, the good scientist is now up against a bunch of really evil, vindictive robots.
yeah, but the good scientist is missing, so I think that's why I want the main character to find out about, to try to find
Try to
its
find what
creator.
happened to the scientist.
Yeah. And also the evil robots destroy the cities that the labs are around in. So, of course, at some point you're gonna get into the real world, and you're gonna see that it's all, destroyed and evacuated and,
Hmm.
just empty. Um, but I guess before when all this happens, one of the scientists at the job would test good scientist robots in the test chamber,
Hmm.
and that's when the player wakes up
Okay, that makes more sense. I
yeah,
like that.
and then
But then how is he missing if he wakes up? If they wake up right next to him?
No, it would be waking up in this test chamber, which are the biodomes, and the good scientists would just be like somewhere else.
What you could do to remedy that, so you don't have any plot holes, is you could say that he had a program running to do auto testing, and so periodically, they would bring a test subject into the chamber and then start the testing procedure on its own, and then it would camera record what happens, and so that's where the player enters. And but instead of the test shutting down or something like that, the player figures out how to exit whatever area they're in.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like a some different scientist at the job who
Oh,
grabs
you're
the
saying
stuff.
some other scientist was doing some tests,
Yeah,
some that wasn't the good scientist.
yeah. And then the catastrophe happens, and then the robot is just left there, and that's when it wakes up.
Hmm.
And then it goes through all these different like TV devices like the other one to transport into the levels, you know. And these levels will have like,
That guy's been in here a couple of times.
yeah, I've noticed that. Well, I think it's a different
No,
one though.
I've seen that truck at least twice. Anyways,
It was two different white trucks. Whatever. Anyway, time?
yeah, I kind of need to wrap it up a little bit.
Okay, we'll explain all this up in a different podcast.
For sure.
Yeah,
I definitely think we're gonna have more than one of these.
yeah. So, this wraps up in this podcast. I forgot which episode this is. I've recorded like two other ones, like before this one.
Back to back, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we'll see you guys later, and
Thank you guys for listening.
yeah. And if you wanna mention anything or say whatever, then make
Leave it
sure,
down in the comments below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
yeah, and hit that
Hit that
like.
notification bell. Bing!
If you like this comment, make sure you subscribe.
If you like this
If you
video, smash that subscribe button and hit the like button and hit the notification
if you
bell.
subscribe this video, make sure you comment the bell. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya. Alright, I'm gonna stop recording now. I thought I was gonna do it before, but now I'm gonna do it.
Are you really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say bye. Alright, bye guys.
Bye.